Wiring a residential service panel looks easy until you make a simple grounding mistake that focuses on the inspector to reject your entire job site run. In this complete step-by-step masterclass, I'm breaking down exactly how to wire a 100 amp panel from start to finish. I'll show you how to safely route your main fees, separate your neutral and ground path, and land your breakers with zero bird's nest. If you want to speed up your panel installation and pass your roughing inspection on the first try, pay close attention. Let's dive straight into mounting the enclosure. So hello, welcome back to my channel, and again in today's video I'm going to be installing my proper breakers that I'm supposed to be installing. Can be anywhere from my quad breaker. This is a quad 1520, or it can be again my special art fault breakers that I'm supposed to be installing when it comes to the code. So again, just hang tight, and as I do this short video here. My main focus in today's video is simply tying in my breakers, making sure I have a balanced panel. And when I say balance, I want to make sure that everything is even out on the same side. 40 amps on one side, 40 amps on the other side. If I have two 40s, I place one on each side. Simple balancing out the panel is vital to the work. And also the way that you install your breakers, you want to make sure that your So again, this will come in the trip position. As you can see, the breakers are already in the trip position. So I'm simply going to reset my breakers. Resetting your breakers allow you to install your breaker in the correct position. And once you power up your panel, you don't have to worry about getting false signals and so on. Your breaker will come on instantly, and it's not in the trip position anymore. So once you are ready to install your breakers, make sure that you take your breakers out of the trip position and put them in the off position. That way when you turn on your breakers, they're going to work accordingly the way it's supposed to. As I work along here, what I like to do is take my time to install my breakers, make sure that everything is landed properly, make sure that my wires are cut to code once I go to install my breakers into the panel. Important, you don't want to have any copper showing at all when it comes to the panel. And the reason why is once you land your screwdriver inside of the panel, and the panel is live, you're going to realize that if your screwdrivers are not protected, insulated, that you're going to touch the hot cable on the panel, and it's going to burn the screwdriver apart. So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So always remember, when you're landing your wires on the breakers, make sure that they are accordingly stripped to the length for the panel, for the breaker panel. Maintaining a clearance is also vital to the installation. You want to make sure that you maintain your clearance. I believe it's about 3 meters of working space. Also, when it comes to wires dangling and so on, you don't want to have any wires in front of the panel. It will cause problems once you go to take your panel cover off. So you want to make sure that those wires are all neatly rolled up out of the way of the panel. Maintain your working space once you come to finishing up your panel, and once you are ready to call for your final inspection, you have to have a clearance of working space around the panel. Also, you have to make sure that all grounds are tied in onto the neutral, onto the ground bar, and the neutrals are tied onto the neutral bar accordingly. Remember, the key to passing inspection is to make sure that your panel is mounted in the correct way. Your breakers are mounted at the correct height. Your one breaker is going to have to stay within the code, which is your panel. The main breaker has to be mounted at a certain height. I believe it's 61 or so from off the floor. If I'm correct, I might be a little bit off there, but that's the distance for the panel to go from the bottom to the top. You have to take that measurement. And when you're installing your arc fault breakers, also there are arc fault breakers with tails. There are some that are push on, depends on the panel that you have. If it's a newer style panel, they are push on arc faults. If it's the older style panels, they are tail arc faults. Again, arc faults are pretty pricey, so you want to make sure that when you are pricing a job, to make sure that you do have the proper arc faults throughout the house counted. You don't want to be going back and charging for something that was already charged for. Very important. Again, it does happen that code rules do change while you're doing the work, and that will affect the current status of the price. Also, if you price the job before the code rule change, obviously if the code rule change, you have to go and adjust the price accordingly because the code rule was changed. A simple panel upgrade will simply mean that all you need is to have your panel, your breakers, your main cable coming in to feed the panel. A lot of times you can use conduit. Most times it depends on the application. Here on this job I use tech cable. Reason being is tech cable is very easy to pull up to the panel from the basement. So I went with the easiest choice and the quickest choice. Conduit will take me much longer to do, and the duct work that's inside of the basement, there's no way I was going to get upstairs with the conduit. I would have had to had a bunch of 90s, which is not allowed by code. 3 to 4 mats per code. After that, you have to put a junction box, and it's not worth it to install a junction box to pull feeder cables. So instead, I went with the tech cable. As you can see, the panel is twisted the other way, so it's kind of awkward for me to work. I always avoid putting 2 neutrals on the same screw. And again, this is just a video. Please, if you guys need to have any work done, please contact a licensed electrical contractor. Okay, now I will install my breakers. Again, also this is an inspection job, so I'm just waiting for the inspector This power is not live. There's no power to the panel. The panel is not. Hello and welcome back to my channel. And again, as you guys enter, just hit the don't forget to hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like and share the video. And in today's video, this panel is a 100 amp panel located on the second floor of the home, and it's going to be the main supply for the second floor, where it's going to be feeding lighting, receptacles, also there's going to be a boiler up there, and it's going to also have hand towels and so on. So again, sit back and enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. So in today's video, what we have is simply a 100 amp panel that's being installed. And again, when it comes to the 100 amp panel, you want to make sure that you are going to be supporting your panel accordingly. You want to make sure that you fasten each side with 4 screws to make sure that the panel is severely straightened onto the plywood and following the code. As you can see, I have my set of cables coming into the panel, and you have the cable that's on the top, the feeder cable, 100 amp feeder cable. This is a 100 amp panel that's being installed, and it's also equipped with lots of cables. As you can see, my cables coming in from the plywood, coming through the hole and entering the panel. And again, that's the best way to install a clean panel to have inspection pass without any problems. You don't want to have your wires stacked. The arrow that's pointing towards that cable is basically a temporary cable that's being used for temporary service, which will be removed once it's finished. So again, we cannot have our wires dangling all. I like to rough in my ground wires first into the panel, and once I'm done with my ground wires, I turn around and I go for my neutral cables. Once that's done, I also will turn around now and start to roughen my hot wires onto the breakers. That's the way the process works. That's how I do it. Ground, neutral, hot. It's what works, and the other way around. Also, watching out for unbalanced panel is very important. You have to make sure that you don't have an unbalanced panel. What I mean by unbalanced panel, you want to make sure that if you are using 40 amp breakers and so on, that your 40 amp breakers are not loaded on one side of the panel. It's going to cause an unbalanced panel, and what happens when you have an unbalanced panel, you have service calls. You have to go back and troubleshoot. You have to go back and remove those breakers and try to balance the panel out correctly. All panels should be balanced out for final inspection, using 40s on both sides along with 15s and 20 amps to even out both sides of the panel. Helps with the process, helps the panel to perform a lot better, helps you to not go back to kind of troubleshoot and so on. So again, if you're new here to the channel, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Subscribe to when you subscribe to the channel, make sure your notification is turned to all. That way you receive my notification when I go live, and don't forget to watch the next video up on the screen.